Everyone, thanks for watching today. Today we are making a candy corn Halloween ghost bow. We're going to be using 6 different ribbons. We have this orange 2.5 ribbon, and then this candy corn 2.5-inch ribbon, and then there is a slight glittered yellow. The yellow is a 1.5. We have this ghost 1.5. We also have this tri-colored candy corn yellow, orange, and white 1.5-inch ribbon. And then we also have a candy corn 1.5-inch ribbon. This is a bow I usually make for my wreaths. For the most part, I tend to not know how long I'm going to want my tail lengths to be for my bows when I put them on the wreath. But I actually haven't made this wreath yet. I'm going to be making this coming up, so I thought I would just make the bow first. But usually I do about an 8-inch tail. I'm just going to scrunch up in the middle. And this is an easy bow maker I'm using. I just measured, it has a measuring tape on here basically. So I just measured out 8 inches, and then I pinched it in the middle. And then when I put it into the bow maker, I'm going to twist it. So instead of both sides being the right side, you're going to twist it. And then I'm going to move my tail to this side. For this bow, I know I want to have 5.5-inch loops. So I'm going to measure out with the bow maker, and I'm going to measure out 5.5. I'm going to pinch it in the middle, and then when I put it into the prongs, I'm going to twist it again. So you can see this side has the right side, this side has the other side. That way when you go to make the bow on the other side, it's already facing the right way. And then I'm going to do the same thing, 5.5-inch loops on this side, and then pinching it when I put it in there. And then I'm just going to make sure that the ribbon's not twisted at inside the prong area. And then I'm going to do opposites of the loops and the tail. So tail, and then loop on this side, and then I'm just gonna eyeball over here. And then to dovetail, I'm just gonna fold it in half and then line it up the best you can. Now the more inward you go, you're gonna get a very deep V. I do like the deeper V's, but not so dramatic, so I'm just gonna go about that much and then cut up. And there you have the dovetail. This will be the next ribbon to use. For this one, I'm going to do the same thing. You don't have to dovetail as you're making your bow. You can do this once it's on there. For this one, I'm probably going to do 8 inches for a tail again, and then I'll most likely cut it down when I get it onto the wreath. Again, I'm twisting it in the middle. Because I have this one on this side, I'm going to move this tail up here. And then I try to keep them separated enough. And for these loops, I'm going to do 5 inches. Again, I'm just measuring out 5 inches. And then I'm going to pinch it right here in the middle. And then when you put it into the prongs, you're going to twist. And then measure out 5 inches on this side. This bow maker is really easy to use, especially if you struggle to make bows. This was very helpful for me to make bows. When I was first starting out, my fingers lock up a lot and they kind of hurt sometimes. So this also helps to help alleviate pain in your hand if you do have problems like that, such as myself. So, you know, I'm not one who's really able to make big bows in their hands. So this is very useful for me. Again, I just made 2 5-inch loops on the side. I'm just gonna cut my tails and then dovetail the ends. And then again, I'm gonna do the opposite. So we have the tail up here, and then we're gonna shift the loop down here. And then we have our 2 tails up here, and then 1 loop up here and 1 loop down there. We're gonna be using the yellow ribbon next. This ribbon's really nice. They call it a crystal shine, which means that it has that glitter look, but when you rub it, it doesn't really get that full glitter. If you've ever used a real glittery ribbon, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It literally sheds ridiculously. So the crystal shine's nice because there may be a teeny tiny bit of glitter, but not like regular glitter. So I really like this crystal shine ribbon. And for these ones, I just made my tail maybe like 1/2 inch, but these ones I'm probably definitely going to cut really shorter, so I'm just going to leave them. And for these loops, I'm going to do 4.5-inch loops on both sides, 1 on each side. Again, twisting in the middle. Pinching it here in the middle. And then again, the same thing. Whatever you did on the previous bow, you're going to do the opposite. So we've got our loop here, tail here, and then our loop here. Cut that. Dovetail. For our next ribbon, we're going to go in with our little ghosties. Again, I'm just going to dovetail, and then I'm going to measure out a little bit longer or a little bit shorter of a tail, twisting it in the middle, and then I'm going to bring my tail up here. For this one, I'm also going to be doing a 4.5-inch loop, 1 on each side. And here I have all my tails starting to gather on one side, and then my loops are starting to come together. It's easier to do it this way. That way when you get your bow off the bow maker, you already have it kind of pre-arranged to where the ribbon is going to lay. So you don't have to do so much rearranging once you're ready to attach it. Again, I'm just dovetailing it. And also, it's really important that you get a good pair of scissors. I got these ones on Amazon. I make sure I label my scissors to only use these for my wreaths, for my ribbon, because sometimes the materials, like I have a habit of using my scissors to open packages and the tape kind of ruins my scissors. So I make sure I don't use those except for my wreaths. But a good pair of scissors is definitely worth it because you don't want to ruin your ribbon, and it makes it easier to cut through lots of thick ribbon. It's just better. Get good scissors. The next ribbon is our tri-colored ribbon. Go ahead and cut the tail. And for this one, we are going to go a little bit shorter. We're going to go 4-inch loops on each side. I do like this bow maker. The only thing I kind of don't like about it, well, there's 2 things. The prongs kind of come out sometimes, but it's no big deal. You can just kind of hammer them in or glue them in, but I just always forget. But once you get your ribbons on here, you kind of start losing your measuring. But I mean, I have a mat, but I really do love using the bow maker. It helps so much with making bows. It really will make a difference if you're a new bow maker, a new wreath maker, whatever you're using ribbon for. This definitely helps. just separating the tails and the bows, making sure nothing is crossed in the middle. For the last ribbon, we're going to go in with the candy corn 1.5 inch ribbon. If you are interested in seeing where or what wreath I use the bow on, you can actually check out my TikTok. It's just wreath and hand. I will have, it's not a full tutorial video, but it will kind of show a little bit of how I made the wreath. It's just a quick, probably like 30-second video of me making the wreath. For this one, I'm going to go 3.5 inch loops, one on each side. And then again, making sure I'm alternating tails and loops. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the tails, and then we will go ahead and get the bow off the bow maker. So now we're going to take our bow off the bow maker. I'm going to just carefully slip the bow up a little bit and slide my hand underneath, and I'm going to slowly pull it up, and then when it gets to the top, I'm going to make sure that my finger is right there on the top to hold it all together. And here I have my stack. I just started recently using zip ties. I used to just use a pipe cleaner to fasten down my bow, but I think the zip tie, although it's a little bit harder to get used to finagling, it does hold it better. So I'm just going to slip my zip tie between my fingers and carefully wrap it around so I don't shift around my bow or any of my ribbons. It's definitely a lot harder to do this slowly. If you're doing it quicker, you definitely avoid all the shifting. And once I tighten it down a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and add my Chanel stem, my pipe cleaner right between there, making sure to still not shift anything around. And I'm just gonna pull it down enough to where nothing will really slip out, but I can kind of adjust it if I need to. And then before you fully tighten it down, again, try to position your ribbon where you want them to go. But be careful not to pull too hard. I just pulled on my loops on my yellow, and I think I might have over pulled on it. I felt it move. That's all right. I'll check it before. So I'm just moving all my tails to one side. That way they're all positioned correctly. And then making sure they're not twisted at the bottom either. All right, so I like where everything is. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten down my bow. You can hear, the good thing about the zip ties is you can really hear it tightening down. And you really do get a nice tight bow that doesn't shift around on you. So you can pull on it and they're not going to move. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cut off that zip tie. And then we're going to fluff our bow. To fluff our bow, you're just going to grab underneath the ribbon like that and just pull up on it. Again, just put your hands in there and pull up on it. For your ribbon tails, you can just slide your fingers through them and it gives them a nice little arch to them. Just like that. And then you're going to do that for every ribbon. Pull up on the loops. This way the bow looks alive. And then you can see all your loops too, actually. If you hear screeching on on the video, that is my dog. He is a big scaredy boy. And he is afraid of everything in the hallway. Honestly, afraid of everything. I think he's afraid of his own shadow. Sometimes he makes me think my house is haunted. The way he just gets so scared. But if my house was haunted, I would not live here. I would move out right away. I'm not sharing my house with no ghost. These are the only ghosts I want in my house. On ribbon. That's it. Other than that, either they're gonna go or I'm gonna go. Alright, here is the finished bow. It's so cute. I love it. I cannot wait to get this onto the wreath. Thanks so much for watching today. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Share this video with someone who may need help making bows. I have a new tutorial every Friday. Thanks so much for watching.